Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into some cutting-edge AI research?
Always.
This time, we're taking a look at Jetformer, hot off the press from Google DeepMind, and this one is a real game changer.
Definitely a big one. Jetformer is tackling a challenge that's been a bit of a holy grail in AI, how to get a single model to truly understand and create both images and text from scratch.
Okay, so no more separate systems working in silos.
Exactly. And importantly, no more relying on pre-trained models that may not be the best fit for the task at hand.
I like it, getting rid of the middleman.
hmm
So instead of different chefs for your appetizer and dessert, you've got one master chef who can handle the whole menu.
Perfect analogy.
Oh.
Traditionally, we've had AI models that are image specialists and others that are text whizzes, but they haven't really been able to communicate effectively.
Right, like trying to describe a painting to someone who's never seen colors.
Exactly. And even those models that tried to bridge the gap by converting images into a kind of code, what we call discrete tokens, ended up losing a lot of information in the process. So like trying to recreate a masterpiece from a blurry thumbnail, you lose all the nuance.
Exactly.
Okay, so Jetformer's stepping in to fix this communication breakdown. What's their secret sauce?
Soft tokens. Instead of those clunky discrete tokens, they use these much richer, more detailed soft tokens to represent images.
So capturing the soul of the image, not just a basic translation.
Yeah.
How do these soft tokens actually work within the model?
Two main components. First, there's the normalizing flow.
Catchy name. What's that do?
Think of it as the translator, seamlessly converting images into these soft tokens and back again.
The Rosetta Stone for AI and images.
Huh, I like that. And what makes it even better is that it's lossless. No information is lost in the translation.
Impressive. So this translator needs someone to talk to, right? What's the other half of the equation?
That's where the autoregressive transformer comes in.
Yeah.
This is where the magic really happens. It learns to predict the sequence of these soft tokens, much like predicting the next word in a sentence. So it's not just understanding the individual elements, it's figuring out the relationships between them, like the grammar of both images, AD text.
Exactly. And because Jetformer is trained end-to-end, meaning it learns directly from the raw data of both images and text, it becomes a real specialist in understanding the nuances of this multimodal language.
So we're moving away from general-purpose AI tools and creating a specialist that truly gets both visual and textual information.
Right. Now, going back to your chef analogy, the researchers didn't just stop at giving their chef the right tools.
Tell us more.
They also had some tricks up their sleeve to make sure the dishes were top-notch. They implemented some techniques to ensure the images generated by Jetformer were really high quality.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of techniques are we talking about?
Well, one is called, and this is a bit of a mouthful, factoring out redundant dimensions.
Factoring out redundant dimensions. Got it.
Essentially, they're leveraging the fact that images often have a lot of redundant information. I think about a blue sky. You don't need a complex description for every single pixel.
All right, makes sense.
So Jetformer learns to focus its energy on the really important details.
So like a painter knowing where to put the detail to create a truly captivating image.
Exactly. It's all about priorities.
Love it. AI that's learning to be efficient. What else?
Another trick, and this one's commonly used in AI image generation, is called classifier-free guidance. Basically, it helps ensure the model produces really high-quality images.
So like having a more experienced artist giving feedback.
Exactly. And then they used a really interesting technique called noise curriculum.
Noise curriculum. Now that one I haven't heard of.
It's actually quite clever. It's like, imagine an artist starting with a rough sketch and gradually adding layers of detail until they have a masterpiece.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
They basically add a bit of noise to the images during training and slowly reduce it over time. So the model learns the big picture first and then the fine details.
So it's like a training regimen for the AI, building up its understanding. Amazing how much thought goes into these things.
It really is. And it's this combination of those core components and these clever techniques that allow Jetformer to generate such impressive, realistic images.
This is all fascinating, but I'm curious, how does it handle the whole multimodal aspect? How does it go from text to image and vice versa?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's trained on image-text pairs. It learns to see the connection between images and their descriptions, creating a bridge between those two worlds.
So learning the secret language that allows it to translate between the visual and the textual.
Exactly. And this is what makes it so powerful and so adaptable. It's not just about generating pretty pictures. It's about understanding what they represent, how to describe them.
This is seriously mind-blowing stuff. It sounds like Jetformer is a real jack of all trades in the AI world.
Hmm.
But how does it actually perform? How does it stack up against the competition?
Well, that's what we'll be exploring in part 2 of this deep dive. Stay tuned. So, are you ready to see how Jetformer stacks up?
Absolutely. Lay it on me. How does this master chef perform under pressure?
Well, one of the key benchmarks they used was ImageNet. It's kind of the gold standard for evaluating image generation.
Right, ImageNet.
And Jetformer held its own, producing images that were comparable in quality to models that rely on those pre-trained components we talked about.
So even without those specialized tools, it's still delivering high-quality results.
Yep. And get this, Jetformer actually achieved a really high recall score on ImageNet.
Okay, so high recall meaning,
Meaning it's not just good at generating a narrow range of images, it can handle all sorts of subjects and styles, showing how versatile and adaptable it is.
so not a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Landscapes, portraits, abstract art,
Yeah.
it can handle it all.
You got it. And it did equally well on another benchmark, MS Kokio, which focuses on that text-to-image generation.
Right, generating images from descriptions.
Exactly. And it performed well both in a zero-shot setting, where it's given a prompt it's never seen before, and after some fine-tuning.
Hold on, zero-shot setting, what does that mean?
Imagine describing a scene to Jetformer, something totally unique, like a cat riding a unicycle on the moon wearing a top hat, and it manages to create an image that captures that perfectly.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's not just regurgitating what it's seen before, it's actually understanding and interpreting new concepts.
Exactly, making those connections between language and visuals in a way that allows it to create something totally new.
That's seriously impressive. But we talked earlier about how Jetformer isn't just an image generator, right? It can do things like image captioning and, what was it, visual question answering.
That's right, a real Swiss Army knife of AI.
Okay, break that down for me. What exactly visual question answering, and why is it such a big deal in AI?
Okay, picture this. You show Jetformer an image of a busy street scene, right? And you ask it, what color is the car parked next to the fire hydrant?
Okay, got it.
For us humans, that's a pretty simple question, but for AI, it requires understanding not just those objects, the car and the fire hydrant, but also the spatial relationships between them next to and the concept of color.
So it's not just recognizing objects, it's understanding context and relationships. That sounds super complex.
It is. And the fact that Jetformer can perform well on these tasks shows that it really can grasp those complexities. It's not just seeing, it's understanding the meaning behind the image.
Wow. It's almost like it's learning to see the world through human eyes. What about those ablation studies we talked about earlier?
Yes. Where the researchers basically took Jetformer apart piece by piece to see how each component affected its performance.
Right, like taking the engine apart to figure out what makes it run. What did those studies show?
They showed that every little detail plays a vital role. Like when they removed the normalizing flow, the performance tanked.
So those soft tokens really are the key.
Absolutely. Without them, the model just couldn't handle the complexity of images, like trying to build a house with no foundation. And the noise curriculum, remember that technique where they gradually reduce the noise during training?
Yeah, the artist's training regimen.
Right. Removing that also led to a big drop in the quality of the images.
Interesting. So it's not just about having the right ingredients, it's about putting them all together in the right way.
Precisely. It's all about guiding the model toward that deeper understanding.
It's mind-blowing how much work goes into crafting these AI models. Like every little piece has to be perfectly in place.
It really is. It's a true testament to the dedication and creativity of these researchers. And speaking of creating something beautiful, are you ready to explore some real-world applications for this groundbreaking technology?
Bring it on. This is where
Okay.
things get really interesting. Okay, so we've seen how Jetformer works, we've seen how it performs, but the real question is, what can we actually do with it? How does this impact our lives?
Well, the potential applications are pretty vast. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling, to be honest. We're talking about an AI that can not only understand and generate images and text, but do it at a level we haven't really seen before.
All right, hit me with some examples. Let's get mind-boggled.
Okay, well, let's start with something like education, right? Imagine textbooks that are actually interactive and dynamic, capable of generating images, explanations that are specifically tailored to how you learn best.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're a visual learner, Jetformer could whip up some custom diagrams, illustrations to help you grasp those complex concepts. If you're more of an auditory learner, maybe it creates audio summaries and explanations.
So it's like having a personal tutor that knows exactly how your brain works best. That's amazing.
Exactly. And, think about the possibilities for creative fields like art and design.
Oh, yeah.
Jetformer could be an incredibly powerful tool for artists, helping them explore new ideas, push the boundaries of their imagination. It could generate different variations on a theme, adjust color palettes, or even create completely new designs based on, like, a set of parameters.
So instead of replacing artists, it's more like giving them a superpowered creative partner.
Precisely. It's about augmenting human creativity, not replacing it. And it's not just about those pretty pictures either. Jetformer could also be used to generate realistic prototypes and mock-ups, really streamlining the design process and helping to bring ideas to life a lot quicker.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like giving designers this superpower to visualize their concepts and experiment with different ideas almost effortlessly. What about other fields? How else could this be used?
Well, healthcare is another area with massive potential. I mean, imagine using Jetformer to analyze medical images, with this crazy level of detail, helping doctors make more accurate diagnoses.
Yeah.
And maybe even helping generate personalized treatment plans based on a patient's specific medical history and imaging data.
So like a second set of superpowered eyes, helping doctors catch those tiny details they might have missed.
Exactly. And think about what this could mean for medical research. Jetformer could be sifting through these huge data sets of medical images, identifying patterns and correlations that could lead to, I don't know, maybe breakthroughs in disease prevention and treatment.
This is all seriously exciting stuff. It feels like we're on the cusp of this huge paradigm shift in how we use AI. But gotta ask, are there any concerns about this tech? You know what they say, with great power.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, as with any powerful technology, there are definitely potential risks that we need to be really mindful of. We have to ensure that models like Jetformer are developed and used responsibly with, the appropriate safeguards in place.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the human element, the ethics and values that guide how we use it.
Absolutely. I mean, having those open and honest conversations about the potential impact of this technology on society, addressing those concerns, establishing clear guidelines for its use, that's all crucial. We have to make sure that AI is serving humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. So it sounds like Jetformer isn't just a technological leap, it's a societal one. It's a tool that could truly transform our world, for better or for worse.
I completely agree. I mean, the future of AI, it's not something that's just going to happen to us, right? It's something that we're all going to create together through careful thought, ethical development, and a shared commitment to use this technology for good.
Powerful stuff. Jetformer, it's a glimpse into the future of AI, a future full of promise and challenges, and ultimately, it's up to all of us to make sure that future is one we can be proud of. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and keep imagining the possibilities.